Hairy legs really can be the death of us sometimes. Now, what lengths would you go to stop your partner's hairy legs rubbing up against you at night time? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now, if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some good stories. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for asking my girlfriend to not rub her hairy leg against me in bed? So my girlfriend didn't shave for a few days, so her legs were prickly in bed. I made light of it by smiling and asking her to watch the shin. She did it more. I told her I was serious and to stop. She rolled over and went to bed. She called me the next morning asking why I didn't apologize. I told her I was confused because I wasn't saying she's gross or anything, just that I didn't want it touching me, and isn't shaving a choice? I wasn't attacking her looks, but she says she would never say something like this to me. I honestly view this as a hygiene choice, but am I the arsehole for asking her to stop and then not apologizing? We haven't spoken in 4 days. Edit. I get what you're all saying that it's not bad hygiene. Poor word choice in my post. I did not say bad hygiene to her at any point. I should have just said that I view this as a grooming choice. I personally don't like the feeling of 4 or 5 day stubble on legs against me. I'm a male. I don't shave my legs. I do shave my face. My legs are extremely hairy, but it's something she says she likes. Now in the comments, you kind of had me on side until you said hygiene. Hygiene? There's nothing unhygienic about unshaven legs. You're the arsehole. If she's unhygienic, he's an absolute pig. His legs are likely several times more hairy. You're the arsehole. The fact that she felt that you wouldn't judge her for not shaving is a big trust thing. You essentially shamed her for not grooming herself to your satisfaction, which is honestly not your call. Lol. If she rubs her legs against his and he doesn't like the feeling of it, it's definitely not rude to ask her to stop. You're the arsehole. When's the last time you shaved your legs? No. Shaving one's legs isn't a hygiene choice. It has nothing to do with being clean. It is purely a fashion choice, and one which can have negative consequences. It is time-consuming, as time often better spent on other things, and can lead to problems like ingrown hairs and associated infections. Why does it matter his reason for not wanting to be touched? I always thought that if someone doesn't want to be touched, they should say so. But he's sharing a bed with someone. Expecting their legs not to touch you all night long is unreasonable. If he is that sensitive to touch, he needs to sleep on the couch. And he's not asking her not to touch him. He's complaining that her legs aren't shaved when they touch him. Clearly, if she shaved, he wouldn't complain. It's just a backdoor way to nag a woman about shaving her legs. Unless you're sleeping in a twin-sized bed, it's pretty easy to avoid touching someone else's legs in bed. He's complaining about sharp stubble irritating him, and he asked her to stop. I take it you've not slept with a sleep mover/roller. It's a lucky night when my husband isn't nearly on top of me while I cling to my corner of the queen-sized bed. I tried to go to the other side, but he seems to gravitate towards the warmth. I'd rather him not touch me too, especially since I hate him, but a sleeping person can't really be controlled. That's sleeping. When you're unconscious, not when you're awake and in full control of your body. He's asking her not to touch him when she's able to. Not the arsehole. As long as you didn't push her to shave. Prickly legs are annoying, and I'm a girl, and I hate the feeling of them, and there's a huge difference between hair growing back after shaving and long leg hair. I'm sorry, anyone telling OP he's an arsehole honestly saying it because he's a male. Because please, tell me why is he not allowed to tell his girlfriend, hey, please don't rub your legs on me. Not that she needs to shave, not that she's disgusting. He's just asked not to be touched. Also, OP never mentioned the hygiene reason to his girlfriend, and he said he didn't want to be touched. And honestly, it doesn't matter his reason if he doesn't want to be touched, he doesn't want to be touched. Am I the arsehole for refusing to wrangle my boyfriend's grandma when I just want to eat my way through the wedding? So my boyfriend and I aren't very close to his mum and sister, but close enough to attend weddings. We are close to his grandparents who are divorced, and especially his grandmother Ruth. Ruth is a sweet lady, but she has a lot of issues. She never recovered from her husband leaving her for a younger woman. She has an unhealthy obsession with my boyfriend's mum, Sarah, and when Sarah got married a few years ago, Ruth was an emotional mess the entire time. These are the things that she cried about. The groom wore a suit and not a tux to their outdoor cocktail attire wedding. She said he didn't love her daughter and is a piece of crap. Sarah didn't wear white. Cue hysterics. Her ex was there with his new wife, who was the same age as Sarah. She thought that she was dressed too sexy, which was not any sexier than anyone else, and wanted to go and comfort her. She made a comment about her ex being too dark and called him a racial slur. They're the same race. Sarah is so beautiful, and Ruth was fantasizing about what she would do if she looked like Sarah. Her other daughter didn't straighten her hair, and if she would just straighten it, she would look white. Finally, she cried because Sarah wasn't eating the wedding cake and was eating a cannoli instead. And she began to full-on wail about how Sarah's first wedding was more traditional, and Sarah deserved that again, and when they were trying to leave, she was clutching Sarah's arm and crying. My boyfriend stayed with her all night and tried to rein her in. Sarah got married at a gorgeous venue and had some of the best wedding food I've ever had. I don't get out much and would have liked to enjoy the night, but Ruth ruined it for me. Now my boyfriend's sister is getting married, Sarah is helping her plan, and they have serious money. They throw amazing weddings, and I'm sure it will be as nice as Sarah's, but it is her first marriage, so even bigger and more lavish. I am super excited. It's at a really nice historic hotel, and the food is going to be to die for. I just want to enjoy and have a nice date night with my boyfriend, but he's insisting that we stay with Ruth the entire time. I feel like maybe Sarah should, because we wrangled her so Sarah could have her big day. The issue is Sarah doesn't have much patience for this. His sister asked about seating and if there was anyone we would prefer to sit with. I asked to sit with some of his cousins, but he said Ruth couldn't sit at that table because her ex would be there with the new wife. I said I did not want to sit with Ruth. I wanted to eat my way through this wedding and party, and that I'm not responsible for Ruth's issues. He accused me of being selfish and uncaring. He feels like I'm abandoning Ruth, who has been so nice to us, and I only care about using his family for the money and stuff. We got into a little argument, and now I feel bad because Ruth does need someone, and the bride needs someone to keep Ruth under control. Now in the comments, Gemma2 says, leaning towards you're the asshole, mainly because it's your boyfriend's family and his choice who he wants to sit next to at the wedding. If he wants to sit near Ruth and keep an eye on her to help the bride and groom have a great wedding, that's really nice of him, and something to be commended. Your choices are basically suck it up or don't go, shrug. Anything else is kind of selfish really, and expecting him to not sit by Ruth is unrealistic. Boyfriend can keep an eye on his grandma. OP shouldn't have to babysit Ruth at every wedding. Maybe Ruth needs some therapy to help her get herself under control. Quote, my boyfriend stayed with her all night and tried to rein her in. Her complaint wasn't that she had to babysit her, it's that her boyfriend did, and that ruined her date night. Which is also a perfectly legitimate complaint. No, it isn't. The weddings of his mother and his sister are not a date night. It's not about OP at all, it's about the boyfriend's family. Big Presents 310 says, yeah, you're the asshole. Your boyfriend feels this is an obligation that he holds to his family, and instead of supporting him as he does this frustrating and difficult thing for the people he loves, you are going out of your way to make it harder and attempt to guilt him into not helping his grandmother. The wedding isn't about you. His relationship with his grandmother isn't about you. Stop making it about you. It seems every wedding is going to be her and boyfriend taking care of grandma, so everyone else can have a good time, ? Are they going to be expected to take care of grandma if they ever get married, so everyone else can have a good time? If grandma needs this much emotional support at every wedding, then they need to take turns or hire someone to help her out. Yeah, but they're not the bride and groom in this situation. This wedding isn't about them. The boyfriend is a relative who wants to do his part to ensure the event runs smoothly. OP is complaining that that means that she won't get to have a nice date night with him, when that's completely not the point of the event. Then why go? They're not being paid to babysit. This is no longer a friendly event. They're doing a job and not being paid for it. My family has a Ruth. When it comes to weddings, you have 3 options. 1. Invite Ruth and allow her to run wild and cause several big scenes, ruining the wedding. 2. Don't invite Ruth, and then you're sad because she's not there, and even though she's kinda nuts, you love your aunt, grandma, whatever, and you want her at your special event. This also probably permanently destroys your relationship with her and causes drama with other family members. Or 3, invite Ruth and have a couple family members who don't have wedding roles but are closely related to Ruth try to keep her out of trouble. So people go with option 3. Ruth wranglers usually just go with it, since the alternatives are to skip the wedding or watch as your Ruth causes a big scene, ruining your enjoyment of the wedding anyways. And sure, maybe someone else could wrangle Ruth, but that relies on another family member doing it. My dad and I wrangled our Ruth for my cousin's wedding, and it'll be my aunt and cousin's job to wrangle Ruth during my wedding. Our next post is by user Alahala110099, titled, Am I the Arsehole for refusing to help my friend with her pregnancy? So my, female 28, friend, female 26, got pregnant from a one-night stand. Since then, she's been on the fence about keeping it or not. She was one of my best friends in school, so we go a long way back. When she told me, I was very clear about my beliefs and how I could never support her pregnancy. She got upset, but we let the topic go because we've known each other for years, so she already knows me. A few days ago, she called me crying and telling me she made up her mind and wanted to get an abortion. She asked for help financially and emotionally because it's illegal in my country, so the only option is to travel to a nearby country, and I was the only one who would help her. Her family is conservative and religious. I offered to go with her and pay for the trip. I made an estimate and it would be about $9,000 for the 2 of us. We promised to meet in 2 days in her apartment to talk in detail about the plans. I told her everything about it and she wasn't convinced. She then tried to talk me into giving her the money, and I refused. She ended up getting mad and said that I should give her the money to support her and her child. I told her she would only get my money and support for an abortion. She was welcome to keep the kid and it was her choice, but I wouldn't help her in any way, as I'm against it in principle and she should respect my beliefs and not try to trick me into giving her money. She called every mutual friend we ever had and told them about it, and now I have people I haven't talked to in years nagging me about helping her. Am I the arsehole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I might be the arsehole for not helping her unless she fits my beliefs of not making more humans for this world. Now in the comments, info. I'm confused about your beliefs in this case. It sounds like you're fine with your friend getting an abortion, but not okay with her having the baby because she's not married / had a one-night stand. Is the question really, am I the asshole for offering my friend money to help her get an abortion, but not offering her money to put towards funding the child if she chooses to have it? In the explanation section, OP says they don't believe we need more humans on the earth. Sounds like it's an environmental issue, not that they take issue with the one-night stand. Just my inference. There's also the chance that OP doesn't think people should have kids if they cannot afford them, aka if the friend is living in a one-bedroom, paper-thin walls, rat-infested apartment and is ridden in years of debt and would be unable to even feed her new baby, then I could see why OP is against her having the child. Not only that, but even if OP was open to giving her some money, I think OP would still be not the asshole if she decided against it after this, because her friend actively lied to OP in order to get thousands of dollars from her. OP's friend is so broke that $9,000 in another currency, which is meant to pay for an overnight trip, a hotel, and an abortion, is an unaffordable expense. I'd guess that's the equivalent of $1,000 US. It really doesn't sound like a single mother in a conservative country who's also broke is in a financial position where having a child is a good idea. Not the asshole. I would have taken the same stance you did. If she can't afford to have the child, or even afford to have an abortion, she should not be having a child. She made her choices and needs to live up to the responsibilities they bring. Her poor life choices are not your responsibility to fix. The amount of entitlement she is displaying, in my opinion, shows she's really not worth keeping around as a friend. She should take the bio father to court, not mooch off of the people in her life. Mostly I agree with you, with one exception depending on where they live. OP is 100% entitled to refuse financially supporting their friend and having their child, as it is OP's money and they can use it to their pleasing. OP can also withdraw emotional support/friendship without being an asshole solely due to the fact that the friend tried to trick them into supporting her. This is nothing a friend should or would do. In case they live in a country with good healthcare though, having a child that costs $9,000 over the course of months or even years is something very different than having an abortion that costs $9,000 like right now. And Sci-Fi Emma says, not the asshole. I hope those nagging have contributed money to the cause. This, let the naggers bankroll her. And our next post is by user EmbarrassedMom131, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she needs to leave because she does OnlyFans? So my daughter, female 25, has been pole dancing for 7 years. She enjoys it a lot and as far as I know is very good at it. To my knowledge, she's only used it for exercise and until recently had a steady job in a law firm, but due to the pandemic, her firm went bankrupt and she lost her job. As a result of this, she had to move back home. Since she came home, she looked for a job for a month or so and then just stopped. I figured she was taking a break, and since she seemed fine and is an adult, I didn't push it. After all, we're still in a pandemic. Recently, she seemed to have more money and has told me that she's going to have enough to put a down payment on a house soon. I told her I was proud of her and I'm glad she would be financially okay. However, recently I found out how she was earning that money. It got brought to my attention she was selling videos of herself pole dancing. I was shocked, especially as I was informed it looked like many of her videos were filmed in my house. She has a pole in her room that she uses for exercise. I confronted her about it, and she seemed to consider it a non-issue, saying, I'm not naked. No one will know it's in your house. It's not exactly sex work, it's an art form. I told her that she needed to delete the videos and account or leave. She got upset, but I told her I'm not having that in my house. She's now packing her stuff up and moving in with a friend until she has enough for her deposit. Unbelievably, she's told people about this and I'm now getting called an asshole. So am I the asshole in this situation? I feel I might have overreacted, but also like this is a serious issue. Edit. I have no issue with her doing it in her own house, a studio, a strip club, or wherever. But I don't want videos of my house put up. That is what my issue was, not what she was doing. It was that she was doing it in my house. And edit 2, so it's almost laughable I have to say this, but I'd appreciate if all the people telling me it's perfectly safe would stop sending me threats. And edit 3, stop messaging me asking me for her OnlyFans. Personally, to weigh in on this one, I'm gonna say you're the asshole for just the fact that you care about it being in your house. If it's not doing an entire tour of your house and giving people the location and where they're gonna break in and where all the valuables are, I don't see an issue with this. I get that it's your house, your rules with this situation, and you're entitled to that one. I just think the way that you're dealing with this situation is wrong. You've done the wrong thing in this situation. And that is demonstrated by everyone else that sees this situation, sees what you have done, and are now calling you an asshole. Even if you try to explain the situation to them and give them your side, I would bet they're still going to call you an asshole. So for that reason, you're the asshole. Now in the comments, I'm going to say not the asshole, since you're entitled to have rules for your own house. But having said that, I'm not sure what prize you thought you were going to win for handling the situation this way. If this rule is more important than a relationship with your daughter, then congratulations, I guess. I think this is the best response I've ever seen in this subreddit. No, it's a terrible response. This subreddit needs to stop with the whole your house, your rules bullcrap. You people literally believe it's impossible to be an asshole in your own house. Let's say I have a pizza and a homeless person asks me for a slice. I ordered way too much and I was going to throw out the leftovers anyways, but I decided I'd rather throw it out in the trash in front of his face just for the lols. It was my pizza, the only one that has a right to it is me. The homeless person had no right to it, however, I'm still a giant asshole. Not sure why that's such a hard concept for people to grasp. That's a horrible analogy. Her parents are uncomfortable with her filming videos from inside their home, specifically videos that are being sold to strangers for sexual purposes. This is OnlyFans we're talking about. You may think that this is an over-the-top reaction, but they're allowed to set this rule when their daughter is staying rent-free with them. It's not her house/address that she is potentially exposing to the world. While I personally think no assholes here, I don't have a problem with what the daughter is doing. It has nothing at all to do with your BS pizza story. It sounds like you actually have more issue with it than you think, OP. Maybe you're not being honest with yourself about how you feel, because if you were truly fine with it, it wouldn't really matter where she did it. For example, if the videos were her teaching a language or something like that, you wouldn't care where she recorded it. You would just be proud of her for being resourceful and generating income. OP's username is indicative of this being more than just a privacy concern. You're the asshole. I don't want videos of my house. Yeah, because your bedrooms are so distinct, everyone will know. Then that big scarlet A on your house. Rolls eyes. You don't approve. That's it. You can claim that it's only about location, but that's really BS. You're in the wrong here. And Goblin says, I don't understand your reasoning at all. You don't want her filming in your house because you're worried about stalkers, but you'd be fine if she filmed in a studio and still lived with you. But her ISP would be the same. That's what they would track. She could just get a VPN and you wouldn't have to worry. But here's the thing that really confuses me. You know who gets stalked a lot? Lawyers. Every lawyer I've known was paranoid about not letting anyone know where they lived. They get disgruntled clients, angry families, etc. Women get harassed for nothing, for going to the grocery store, for walking on the street, being a waitress, wearing a ponytail. People who are successful on social media do have to deal with crazy fans. It doesn't matter what their content is or their gender, just if you would feel the same about her videos if she was vlogging on YouTube or something, go ahead and set your boundaries. Express your worries about fan harassment, but it feels like it's because of the pole dancing. Just get a VPN, you're the asshole. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Friendly reminder that I'm now posting daily on my second channel, Markee 2. If you want to laugh at memes with me, link is down in the description below. On phone, you just click that little arrow underneath the video. I also want to say thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your names are currently floating down the screen here, and I love to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you see yourself on screen, I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back for being amazing as always, and thank you for supporting me again. I do hope that you guys have a good day, night, sleep, whatever it is you're up to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.